if there's ever a career I would advise anyone never to pursue, it is real estate. And the reason is because not just what I just said, but the money is going to sound weird. The money can be so good that you can't give it up. So it's like, I know that my life is wrecked, but I can make a big chunk of money on one sale, and I could go 3 or 4 or 6 months and not make a nickel, and then make one sale, and I'm back to even. Well,
it's like the casino, basically.
Kind of like that, yeah. You just get trapped in it, and once you're in it long enough, you just can't get out. And so, yeah, I would not suggest this. But back to what you were saying about, even if you had a big windfall, like sounds like Bill's had, and I'm very happy for him because he is a great guy, and I wish him all the best in all the things he does. But
also, fuck him, he's a piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that dude, seriously, I really, really like that dude. I mean, he's just...
I know you do.
Yeah,
he's
just
a good
an
guy.
awesome guy.
I really
Awesome
like
guy.
him too.
He's
like my best friend.
And that's cool. But back to the point I was making about that is that you said if you could, you could have a windfall like it sounds like he's had, you'd have a hard time shutting off. And yeah, you would, because as we've discussed in the past, because, we've both done this thing that we're talking about in terms of designing online courses, that kind of thing, is that those things are born to die. I mean, they don't last forever, and you just know that. I mean, like nobody's ever created a course, to my knowledge, that has sold as well in year 2 or 3 or 5 as it did in year 1, typically. I mean, I know that there's no consistent pattern there, but my point is they don't last forever. So,
there's a shelf life.
Exactly.
And I can see that already with my, like, I have the number 1 spot for stand-up comedy courses on Udemy and Skillshare right now, and it's like been great because I can just kind of watch it. It's nuts because I've made as much doing that and no work since it's been out there as Gloria has, basically doing
a full-time
almost
job.
20 hours a week to 25 hours a week teaching yoga. So it's like it was a great win for me to like create that, and the amount of work that went into creating it was like not very much. I mean, the multiples on it coming back are just fantastic, but even there, I can see that I'm like either better courses are going to come out or more of them, or like you have to continue to feed the machine by tossing more of this stuff out there. And that's what's weird is like, I heard this quote about Steve Jobs recently where it was somebody who had interviewed. Oh, it was the guy who wrote the book, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy. He interviewed Steve Jobs after Steve had come back to Apple and had basically saved the company. Like he got them focused on the iMac, way back in the day when that first commercial with Jeff Goldblum came out, and that computer was unlike anything else in the marketplace, and he really saved the company by doing that. And it was funny because the guy who interviewed Steve Jobs, who wrote this book, just said, "What is your next thing? Like, what's the next thing, Steve?" And Steve like sat there for a second and thought about it. And then he said, "I don't know. I'm going to sit around until $1 billion idea comes to me." And that's literally what he did. He didn't have a plan for exactly what the next thing was going to be. He just waited until he got the idea for the Apple iPod.